Hello, and welcome to the Opus Dei Academy of Food. Level 2 begins with the class study of WAWNETUAK, the first of 4 bases. Now, WAWNETUAK is an acronym, what all we need everyone to understand and know. And here we begin the study as to the who, what, where, when, and granted by whom all things food. The flower, the seed, the plant, the mother, the father, the offspring, the life, nutriment, and the reward of consumption. Now, as we begin, some key words that we need to go over. First word is inherent. When we say it's inherently, or it becomes inherent, that denotes that an existing, permanent, essential, vested privilege and someone rising into the built-in characteristic. Now we have hope, to trust in, wait for, look for, or desire something beneficial in the future of those entrusted with or by those parented. Now, care is to be concerned about, have interest in, to look after, in wanting in a form done in accordance with the rules of convention or etiquette, suitable for and with official importance of food handling and nutritional safekeeping. Now, to ultimately understand what is being presented, let's think about food, fresh food, and how good food is when it's fresh. So in order to understand how it travels from fresh unto the rancid, this demonstration here is the 4 maybe sections of what we could use to understand what we are really guilty of, or really what we're going to be dealing with. So as you can see, you go fresh, dull, sour, rancid. That's not a nice looking face. That's a little disturbed. I'd say a little bit on the questionable if you had bad motives after having something sour. Not that good of a look either. Dull, little inquisitive, and fresh, little happy guy. So, fresh, to fully adhere to the senses. Use approach in hopes of gaining clarity to understand at what point of the smell path we are responsible for caring to remove the product we offer. Now, what I'm saying is right. Whether you're feeding yourself, feeding your family, feeding guests, or even feeding the public, you have to know what's going on with your food, not just simply sell it till you smell it. And in grasping all that is needed to know, we must understand familiarity, awareness, time, temperature, oxygen, and moisture. Now, when we deal with adversarial conditions when it comes to food, there is the pinnacle, the marquee aspect of food, as fresh as we could possibly have it. A tomato picked in the backyard on a nice summer evening, full of redness and juice and heavy weight. Ultimately, you could pick it right off that plant and consume it right then and there. You can pull it off the plant, and once we separate, now the natural law that occurs, the way that God has it, is the purpose life has been surrendered, and now it turns into a nutritional life. But as it has that plant or the animal, the life is taken and is processed. Fresh is its full containment of the potential of its hydrogen. Now, moving away from such, these are the words that I'd like us to start to look at and try to understand so we can learn to take notes and see different stamp marks. Kind of like someone can read music. Something stamped on paper, they can read it. Some people look up at the sky and see constellations or different patterns of stars. Stamp is there. So in order to understand what stamps we have when it comes to the food handling and the productivity of food, we need to understand rancid. It deals with of foods containing fat or oil. Okay, that's fair. Foods containing fat or oil. Nice. Plants, live animals, or consumed. Smelling or tasting unpleasant as a result of being OLD and stale. Old and stale. Now, stale is the conditional issue of food no longer fresh nor pleasant to eat. Hard, musty, or dry. No longer new, interesting, nor exciting. Old. Old is the period of traveled. Having lived for a longer time, no longer young. Showing characteristics of age. All of this are notes of depletion of hydrogen. Dehydrated. Now, each of us in existence has our own life. And if we take a look, life has an outer terrain and an inner terrain that is greater than the brass tacks and common denominators needed to be in place in order for that existence to be. Again, we need a cell, we need tissue, we need organs, and ourselves are an organization. So when we live, there needs to be purpose, nutriment, and nutrition. And how and what we define those three attributes is how life is defined. We all have potential. There is always potentially, and we that exist in that potential are the potentianaire. And that all existence, all said and done, is the potentialized, or the potentialed. Soil, growth, capacity, and fruition. The seed, the stem, the flower, the fruition. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. Now, as you see, soil, growth, capacity, and fruition, we have the seed, the stem, the flower, and then the fruition. The flower drops its petals and seeds, carrying on to the next generation. That's called germination. We stick a seed in the soil, add a little bit of water in the soil, and it grows. The same is for our adversarial conditions inside of us. We have something that germs, it stems, it flowers, then the fruition. Now, along that whole understanding, we keep in mind that our body is the soil, and how we contain and maintain that soil either dictates growth or the absence of growth, a capacity or incapacity, fruition or no longer available. As we go, we will learn step by step. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. Now, when we exist, there's inherent responsibilities granted. A word we need to try to understand is the word task. Assigned work. Our task, in order for our existence, we have to consume water and nutritious food, or just any food. But The chasm that covers any food to nutritious food guarantees have an impact on our existence. So a task is a duty and or function with an assigned piece of work, sometimes hard and unpleasant to be done. Now, learning, the doctrine involves teaching the acquisition of knowledge or skill received by instruction and study. Now, regurgitate, to repeat without analyzing or comprehending, lack of understanding usage.